Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. I'm your host, Lia Chang. Today, I'm finally having the opportunity to sit down with Darren Lee, one of the most elegant men ever to cross the stage. Welcome, Darren.
Thank you. It's a delight to be here.
I am so happy that we finally get to speak.
Yes.
You've had quite a year.
Yeah.
But we're going to start off with what's coming up next,
yes.
Which is?
So coming up next, I am going to be performing The King of Siam in The King and I, the UK production of The King and I. It'll be my West End debut at the Dominion Theatre.
Oh my God, that is so exciting.
I'm really thrilled.
Well, you've also actually been on the UK tour for a period of time.
That is correct. So since January, I've been touring the UK, and so very similar to the way that I saw a lot of the US on a US national tour of a show, I've been able to see all of these different cities, sort of play these different houses, sort of do something touristy during the day, and then I'm grateful to be able to have a show to go to at night.
What does it mean to you to be making your West End debut?
It is thrilling. It's something that I never honestly, maybe something that I hoped in the back of my mind would happen. You know, having spent a good 20 years performing on Broadway, I thought, well, maybe there'll be an opportunity for me to maybe have a show in the West End. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to do it at this time in my life, to be able to do it with this role in this show is something that I never could possibly have imagined. And I'm more than honored and delighted to be able to do it.
Now, you've had a really amazing career on Broadway as an actor, singer, dancer, but over the last 10 years, you've actually been exercising a different creative muscle. Shall we talk about the different projects that you've been working on this year?
Sure. I did actively step away from performing for about a decade to pursue things creatively as a director and a choreographer. And so in the past couple years, I've had the opportunity to work on several brand new musicals. One of them is Mr. Holland's OPUS. I served as the choreographer and as the associate director, and that was by B.D. Wong and Wayne Barker. I'm in development for a new show called The Gifted Prince that is supposed to have its debut at Theatre Calgary in 2025-26.
Oh, Stanford Arimas?
That is correct. Yep. A wonderful colleague from Allegiance. We work together, and I also just directed and choreographed this production at the Phoenix Theatre Company of a brand new musical based on the 1989 Tiananmen Square incident.
What was your very first professional job?
My very first professional job was my dance teacher and my parents sent a VHS tape to Star Search, and I was 11 years old, and I was on the very first junior Star Search that they ever had, and it was in the dance category. I did a duet, and her name was Heather Hoffman, and we won
their overall star potential. Time now for the first of two junior Star Search dance categories. Later on, you'll see solo dancing, but right now we present the contenders in the group dancing category. First up is a duo from Westminster. She's 9 years old, he's 11. Welcome the dance team of Heather Hoffman and Darren Lee.
Please report. Break the sides. Roll back. Please report to the dance floor. C-O-I-D-S. C-O-I-D-S. Break the sides. C-O-I-D-S. be a freakazoid. Come on and wind me up. I'll be a freakazoid. Come on and wind me up.
Thank you, Heather Hoffman and Darren Lee. Cast your votes, judges. The judges give dancers Heather Hoffman and Darren Lee 3.5 stars. Their opponents 6 feet 3 receive 3.25 stars. So, congratulations. You just won over $2,000. How long have you been dancing together?
We've been dancing together for about a month.
About a month? That's all? You just hardly met, right? Are you planning to make dancing a career for yourself?
Yes.
Well, you're really good. Congratulations.
Prior to being submitted for Star Search, what kind of training had you had?
Well, if we go back to like when I first had a desire to dance, I grew up in the 70s. My parents,
You grew up where?
I grew up in Southern California in the 70s, and I really intimately remember my parents disco dancing in the living room and watching them.
Wow.
And watching, even, I mean, as any kid, I think, but as an Asian American kid, to see your parents interact in a way that was joyous and had a certain amount of like synergy was really thrilling to me. And I think it impacted me because I listened to those albums and I would dance around the living room and I would, you know, try, I think, to sort of, it was just a really joyful thing to see. They had a talent show at my elementary school.
Okay.
And I came home and I asked my mom, I told my mom I was going to be in the talent show. And she said, "That's great, Darren, what's your talent?" And I said, "I'm going to dance." And I said, "And you're going to make me a costume." And so my mom made me a costume that was kind of like Bob Fosse kind of looking.
Right.
Had a little bowler hat and
Right.
a little bow tie. And I told the teacher just to fade the music out because I didn't choreograph it. I said, I just got up there and I danced and I said, "Fade the music out when I leave the stage." And that was my first experience doing any kind of performing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just, I don't know. I was fearless. I mean, I wish I had that kind of fearlessness.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When I introduced you, I introduced you as one of the most elegant men to cross the stage.
Yes.
The last time I got to see you on stage was in Jason Ma's Gold Mountain.
Yes.
So can you talk to me about that experience of doing that show?
Yes. Gold Mountain was an extraordinary show to be a part of. I was very fortunate to be in the original company of Miss Saigon with Jason Ma, and we were both performers together. And I do remember even at the time that it was a show that Jason was developing, you know, and so to be able to have that particular show come around many years later and have its world premiere and to be part of it was just absolutely thrilling. I thought it was really exciting because it's most of my career had been being sort of maybe one or two Asian cast members, you know, in a cast of predominantly Caucasian people generally.
Right.
And so it was really thrilling to have a show that was all Asian and all male. And so instead of just being sort of a token or sort of having sort of a small character part, the actual essence and humanity of these gentlemen is what was featured. And so it was
Right.
absolutely thrilling for that reason.
Well, it was such an amazing company of artists, and I know that for many of the cast members, it's an experience unlike any other,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
probably will never
Absolutely.
happen again. So,
Well, I hope it happens again.
so
but
we
yes,
hope
yes,
that
we
eventually
need to make more
it
experiences
finds
like
a
that.
theater.
Yes.
It finds a theater,
Yes.
a home.
Absolutely.
I'd like to know what it means to you to be an Asian American theater maker in this time.
It means the world to me. You know, in the beginning, I just wanted to perform and I just wanted to get work. And then at a certain point in my career, I wanted to be cast non-traditionally. I would consciously, if there was an Asian show happening, if a production, honestly, of The King and I or Flower Drum Song or something was happening, at the same time another show was happening that I was able to audition for and get cast in,
Right.
I would actively try to be cast in that show.
Right.
So that was the early part of my career. I did find that coming back around to performing, coming back sort of as a character man, coming back as a theater maker, someone who can now help to hire other people.
And to have a seat at the table.
Yes, exactly. Has made all the difference, because now I accept and am very honored to have the responsibility to expand the diversity, to create the opportunities for other people that I didn't necessarily have.
Right.
And now I'm very proud to be working with an all Asian company that I can help assemble, you know, and I help recruit the people that may be doing exactly what I was doing then, but like bring them back into the fold.
That to me was one of the exciting things that I got to see you interacting with on BD's Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yes, yes. So
he cast, what, 6 or 7
yeah,
Asian American
he absolutely.
actors,
I think
singer, dancers who were all like serious triple threats.
Absolutely. Not only did they have to sing, dance, and act, but they all had to play a musical instrument well enough to be able to be the soloist in the finale with that particular. It was the hardest show ever to cast, honestly. Yeah.
Insane.
But it was an extraordinary opportunity.
Well, Darren, I want to come for your opening,
Please
which is
do.
January 31st at the Dominion Theatre on the West End in London. Come see Darren and Helen George and the phenomenal company of The King and I. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time.